Cedars Recovery, I worked for BDV Recovery, and I worked for Dines Recovery as well, also in Kent. Over 20 years. Oh, and HRS Recovery as well. I was only ever a 7.5 ton.
Not backdoor victims.
No.
BDV.
Oh, you know BDV, do you? Ah. Yeah, I used to do the motorway recovery for them. Used to live in a caravan on the side of the motorway and do the free recovery.
I used to work for K2 Recovery.
Oh, K2. I've heard of them. I've never run with any one of them. What was you doing at K2? Was you heavy or lights? Or class 2? I was only a 7.5 ton. Well, I say I was only a 7.5 ton. I had a license for a 7.5 ton, but I was running.
They do a lot of the road works and the little mixture.
Oh, right, gotcha. Yeah, well, when I was working for BDV, we was running Renault Midlands, which were meant to be 12 tonners, but because they changed the tyre size, it brought it down to a 7.5 ton. So technically I was driving a class 2 under a 7.5 ton licence because of the tyre size. Weird how it worked, but it worked and it got around the rules. Brogan, thank you for the likes, much appreciated. Brookie, welcome in.
Yeah, downplated the payload.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But we still run them as if they were class 2s. I remember I went out to a big RTA lorry versus like 4 or 5 cars. Now the ones that we was running, the Renault Midlands, were alley beds, but they were long alley beds where I could get a long wheelbase transit on that sort of alley bed. And then we had a set of spoons on the back. So I picked up a long wheelbase transit that was fully loaded on the bed, and then I put a reverse lifted a transit tipper, because it was obviously rear wheel drive, reverse lifted that and towed that down in the spoons to our yard. And the police went, "You might be a bit overweight." I said, "Do you want the accident cleared or not?" And he went, "I want the accident cleared because I want the M25 opened up again." I said, "Well, turn a blind eye and let me drive away then." So they did. But yeah, we used to get away with murder with him though. Those were good old days when I had energy and money around me. I don't think I could do recovery now. I wouldn't be able to keep up with the fast pace of it all. But I used to do it when the money was good.
I went out to a police job in a 3.5 tonner to collect a Mondeo Cobra offered to load it for me.
Oh, what, with the alley ramps on the back of it? Yeah, we had some of them at Dines, the little 3.5 tons. We used to call them the racers because obviously they don't have to have a limiter. So any long jobs come in, they went on there because 1, they got no limiter, and 2, they got no tacho. So we could do an up and down no matter where they were in the UK.
Yeah, he then asked if I'd be overweight.
Mondeo, you should be alright. They're only a 1.5 tons, aren't they? So, the little, I think they're only a ton, maybe 1.5 tons, maybe 2 tons with the chassis and everything. So you'd probably just been on the limit. I'll have to see if I can dig some pictures out of my old days. I had a Isuzu crew cab.
This was a tilt and slide puddle jumper, so I'd have been over.
Oh, you had to tilt and slide on a puddle jumper. Ah, yeah, then you'd have been overweight because of the hydraulics and that. No, we just used to have that plastic grid runners down either side on the chassis, and alley ramp. So ours were well light. Yeah, no, we didn't have no hydraulics or nothing on the 3.5s. But yeah, I was saying I had a Isuzu crew cab, fully demountable tilt and slide, which was 23 foot long, I think it was. And then I was towing, I had a 4x4 on the back of that, and then I had a 25 foot caravan. I think it was 24, 25. It was the longest caravan you're allowed. I think it was 25 maybe. Twin axle caravan, towing that behind. I pulled up in the services and the police come over and went, "Can I check your length?"
I hated the one at K2, the missus is hurt.
Yeah, you couldn't adjust the seat, didn't have an air seat or nothing, did it? That's the problem. They were just on runners on top of the engine. Always used to be hot. Aircon never used to work. But yeah, police come over to me and went, "Oh, can I check your length?" I said, "You didn't check it." He said, I think you're over length." I said, "Well, how'd you work that out?" I said, "I'm not as long as a class 1. They went, "Well, how'd you know that?" I said, "Because I'm parked up next to a class 1. He said, "Have you got a class 1 licence?" I said, "I don't need one." I said, "I've got a 7.5 tonne with trailer. And I've also got a 7.5 tonne with drag bar." And he went, "Why have you got a 7.5 tonne with drag bar?" I said, "Because I run like recovery trucks with spec, like with the spoons." And I said, "Technically that's classed as a drag bar." He was like, "Oh, you've been doing this a while?" I was like, "Yeah, about 15 years, mate." He went, "Oh, I'm not going to bother." And he just walked back to his car. Because I've actually got a showman's licence as well, but only for a 7.5 tonne.
Keep right.
So I can tow a trailer, towing a trailer. All because of, like, when we had the motorway work, if we picked up an RTA, you'd throw one on the back.
Thank you for following.
Brad, thank you very much for the follow, much appreciated. Welcome in, happy
I got
day
called
on
by the
Thursday.
ministry and they asked to see my Tarcho, should have seen his face.
Was that before or after you had
My
to?
wallet.
Oh, right, so that was before you had to run tacos. Yeah. Yeah, we was always running on a 62 mile radius. And one firm I worked for actually had trucks parked up in different areas, so we had different base stations, so we could travel more. Yeah, I always used to carry my driver's cards, my taco card, and my CPC card.
The argument I had with him was brilliant.
I can imagine. It's like when I was driving a pure spec vehicle, like, because I used to do roadside as well, so like battery changes and wheel changes. And King Bob, welcome in. And I had a spec unit, and I had a van on the back,
Then exit right.
and it was I think it was a relay. Is it a Peugeot relay or a Renault relay or something like that? Quite a big van, and I had all I had was a mechanic on tow, a magnetic on tow on the back doors, and then 2 magnetic lights, like indicators and lights, because I had wireless ones. You just plug it in and charge them up, and it was wireless. And he pulled me over. He went, "You ain't got a trailer board on?" I went, "I don't need a trailer board." He went, "Well, you've got no indicators." I said, "What are they then?" And he went, "Oh, I didn't see them before I pulled you over." I said, "Well, you wouldn't have seen them because they weren't flashing." Well, this is it, Grey Wiz. We can still get, like, I know another recovery company is still about, and they still run on a 62 mile radius, because you don't have to have an O licence for recovery. As long as you stay within 62 miles of your base, as the crow flies, so it's not even 62 miles roadway, it's like a big circle around your base. as the crow flies. As long as you stay within there, you ain't got to run a tacho. As soon as you go outside that, you got to put a tacho in from the start of the job. So technically, if you know you're picking someone up and you're going outside that 62 mile,
Yeah,
you have
that's
to
the
put a
law for
tacho.
recovery 62 mile.
Yeah. It's alright, I'm talking to my other chat as well, Beard. And then you'd have to put a tacho in, do the job, come back and stay on tacho for a whole week. So you're stuck to tacho hours for a whole week, just for one job. So that's why we used to have satellite stations, so we could get further out without putting a tacho in. And all it was a truck parked up with...
Scaffolders can get away too if driving is less than 20% of their work.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And I think, what's the other one? Like the super suckers, like the drainage people, like ETS and things like that, where they go out and do all the pumping of the drains and things. I don't think they have to worry about it either. Yeah, so we had like literally recovery trucks parked up with battery banks in the back seats, just with a radio on as a radio repeat station. No one ever sat in it. No one ever used it. That was Kavner's that done that. They got a Medway contract, but they were based in Croydon, which was outside the 62 mile radius. So they put two trucks in so they could cover Medway.
I
Without
know
a
that they have
tacho.
special dispensations for emergencies so they can work more than 6 days.
Yeah, yeah. When I started, obviously now I'm talking near on 30 years ago now, when I first started, we was 24-hour call out, 5 days on, 3 days off, 4 days on, 4 days off, 5 days on. But we was 24-hour call out. But we earned percentage as well. We was earning 35% of every job we done. So whatever we done, we got 35% of. So if we done a standard pickup, it was 125 quid. If we went like normal call out, it was 125 quid. So we got 35% of that. If we went out to a police job,
I did in recovery was 36 hours straight.
same as that, mate. Same as that. I drove from Swanley to Cornwall, Cornwall back up to Swanley, Swanley to Scotland, back from Scotland, and then back down to Devon and back again. 36
Right.
hours.
Then exit right.
All in a flyer, in a little 3.5 ton.
Exit right.
3 different jobs. And then I slept for 24 hours. But that was a few cans of the old energy drink and a few pills of the wakey up pills.
Pro Plus.
Yeah. I can't say it because I'll get bananaed, but yeah. Yeah, I think I've done a pack of those and maybe 6 cans of the ball. But the thing was, all the time I had passengers, exactly. When you had passengers, it was fine because you had someone to talk to, so you stayed awake. But driving back on your own, I had the radio on, I had bloody windows open, all sorts, trying to keep myself awake because I was on my own. I was getting like, I wasn't falling asleep, but I wasn't like, I was getting drowsy. But when I got back to Swanley, I went, oh, I've got another one for you. Because half the time, yeah, half the time we never knew where we was going or where the customer was from. We just knew they'd broke down. So you go out to it, pick them up, and they go, oh yeah, well, I'm on my way here, or I'm on my way home here. And you'd end up taking them all the way home. If they had the breakdown cover, obviously. But yeah, no, it used to be good fun. But I couldn't do it now, I couldn't keep up the pace.